Yosef the Tzaddik. So we know that Yosef was faced with a tremendous temptation, a challenge. One of the most beautiful women who was actually decided that her life mission was to get Yosef and have him, to get Yosef and seduce him and have him intimately, to try to have a child with him. That was her life mission. She wasn't happy with her husband. She wasn't happy with her life. And she was lovesick to the point where she really wanted to die without Yosef. Some of her girlfriends were like, come on, I mean, listen, I understand he's like fifth year in a row, People magazine, most wanted beautiful man in the world. But come on, take number 2 at least. There's a million guys out there that you could seduce in 2 seconds. He's like, no. It's only him I want. I need him. And they're like, come on, enough is enough. He's like, you know what? Let me show you him. And she took her girlfriends they saw him for a few moments, and their mamish were like done. They were like, now I understand. We also want him. We're going to kill you for him. So they wanted him so badly. Just looking at him, everybody, it was unbelievable. I don't even know how to put it in words. He was the most wanted man on earth, probably of all time. Okay, there were other very nice, handsome men. This class is not about handsome men because people will start wondering what I'm about. So let's just get to the point. Is that the whole point was that we wanted to understand what kind of challenge Yosef was given. Beauty and beautiful women that were just really a push, a real hard challenge. And he stood up to this test. He stood up to this test like a real champion of Hashem. He put his trust in Hashem and he worked hard. And he pushed her away and fought it day and night. And what did he get in return for this unbelievable loyalty to humanity, to man, to truth, and to God? Thrown into a pit, a hole in the ground, which what they call a jail for who knows how long. 10 years he was actually in jail for a crime he did not commit. Now I want to point out a very important lesson here right now. This is the lesson that I came to teach. Everything I told you, we know, was history. This is the lesson I came to teach. Moments before Yosef stood to his final test, his hardest moment, his most difficult moment, when he fell, he rejected her and pushed her away for an enormous amount of time with an unbelievable amount of beyond human effort. It finally reached a point where he said, you know what? I'll acquiesce to this woman. I will give in. He was about to agree to be with this woman. A married woman, which is forbidden by law, by God's law. And somehow, if you look at the story, she got her hands on his shirt. I mean, that's like obviously one of the giveaways right there. But Chazal go deeper and say that he was about to mamish give in, do the deed. And he pictured a vision of his father Yaakov. He pictured a vision of his father Jacob, Yaakov, and through that he gathered the strength and he withstood. And I wouldn't say this because I don't deserve to say this. I'm only quoting the greater men and greater rabbis that have said this. It's that moment that defined him. Because when you begin to give in to temptation, when you begin to fall, and it's so easy because falling is not like climbing. Climbing is hard work each step you climb. Falling is like a slide. You take one step and you're already at the bottom. An easy, slippery slope down to the bottom. So once you fall, you're prone to just go to no end. And so at that moment, imagine being on one of these very, very like ski resort slides. You're sliding down a smooth like, I don't know, butter. I'm from Brooklyn. Smooth like butter. You're sliding down this slippery slope and you have nothing to grab. So what do you grab? What do you grab? He grabbed his father, a man of truth, a godly man, a walking angel. He grabbed his father and envisioned his father because he was like his father. And he understood, if I come from him, this is not for me. And he stopped himself mid-slide. You can't do that. You can't stop mid-slide. And he did that. And that, what they say, was his greatest moment, what made him Yosef HaTzadik. Because when you already fall, and the next step is just to continue falling, and you hold back, and you save that without giving in, that's greatness, that's beyond human, that's why he's our tzaddik, Yosef the tzaddik, because he stood up to that final moment, and he turned it around. However, even with his unbelievable ability to stop the fall, on his level, and to become the symbol of perfection and righteousness, he had to be better than that. And he wasn't. And that's the point I want to bring out. He, for a moment, failed and fell. Then he regrouped. Then he gathered his strength, and then he persevered. He went beyond himself, and he conquered. For that, he's the greatest, but not the perfect. And as a result, the Kabbalah and the sages explain to us that 10 drops of semen came out from his 10 fingertips. These 10 drops of semen were the potential of the lives of 10 very, very special people. The 10 righteous martyrs that were murdered in the most horrific ways, Rabbi Akiva and the others that are mentioned in the Gemara by the Romans, these were the 10 martyrs. These 10 drops of semen, which were the potential of the 10 holy lives of these holy righteous people that were chosen to die to sanctify God's name. That's included in the 10 drops of semen that came out of his fingertips. And it's a very deep, very Kabbalistic, very fundamental story that we're tapping into now. But I want to focus on what's our takeaway. And that is this. Yoseph, that is the symbol of perfection in righteousness and in overcoming temptation, failed. So he wasn't perfect. And we come back to what I started with. But for God, when he overcame himself and he overcame the roughest and toughest moment of a challenge, for Hashem, he's perfect. And that's why he's the symbol of righteousness.